All right, good evening, everyone. I would like to open up the public hearing on introductory local law number 9 of 2024 to amend Chapter 33 procurement policy. The clerk will read the notice.
Please take notice that the Town Board of the Town of Warwick will be holding a public hearing to consider proposed introductory local law number 10 of 2024. Wrong one, sorry. We're doing number 9. Hold on, might have to pause.
Battery storage.
Yes, battery storage. I'm gonna go get the public notice. My bad, sorry. Perfect.
While the clerk is getting that, is there any public comment? Any comment from the board on local law number 9? Any comments from the public on local law number 9? Posted in the newspaper, and we discussed it at our last town board meeting. Okay.
I got grandma brain.
That's right.
So I'm getting ready for the next meeting. Okay, sorry about that. Please take notice that the Town Board of the Town of Warwick will hold a public hearing to consider introductory local law number 9 of 2024 entitled Amending Chapter 33 Procurement Policy. Said public hearing to be held Thursday, December 12th, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. or soon thereafter, as the matter may be heard at the Town Hall, 132 Kings Highway, Warwick, New York. A complete copy of the introductory local law is available for inspection in the clerk's office and/or the Town of Warwick website, townofwarwick.org. All interested persons will be given the opportunity to be heard.
Thank you. And we'll keep the public hearing open if anyone has any comments or remarks on that. Again, no comments from the town board? Any from the public? Okay. All right, may I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, public hearing is closed. At this time, I would like to call to order the December 12, 2024 Town Board meeting. If you'd all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, would you please call roll?
Supervisor Dwyer?
Here.
Councilman Cole?
Here.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Here.
Councilman Mattingly?
Here.
Councilman Schuback?
Here.
Attorney Buckeye?
Here.
All right, all are present. We do have a presentation tonight, except it is not going to be a presentation for Alexander Rodriguez. That will be held at the next town board meeting. Just waiting for a couple of people to make their way into the town board meeting room whenever they're ready.
Can he hear you?
He knows. Sam, can you go see what's going on out there? Thank you. Yes.
Santa Claus.
Yes, I brought Santa Claus and Mayor Tom Howley. All right, just be one moment. I guess while we're waiting, I can make a motion that we accept the regular meeting minutes for November 26th.
Second.
Move second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Correspondence is listed as addendum number 1. Is there any board's discussion on the correspondence?
No.
No? Okay. All right, that is all the business we're going to conduct until our guests arrive. Yes. Anywhere you want, anywhere you guys want. Yeah, sit right next to the man of the hour. That was my goal. Early retirement for the chief. Never seen him this shade of red before. All right, I'm going to make my presentation from down here, and if I can, I would like to invite the Chief of Police up with me while I make a brief presentation. Chief, will you join me? Now, I can tell you it is not easy to surprise the Chief of Police in his own house, but we were successfully able to do it. So 11 months ago, I started what has proven to be one of the most challenging yet rewarding journeys of my life. The ups and downs of being town supervisor are hard to put into words. Over the past nearly 1 year in this job, what I have found to be critical in my success and the success of our town is being surrounded by the right people, and Chief Rader is exactly the right person. Having worked with Chief Rader over the past year, some things have become abundantly clear. For starters, Chief Rader is very stubborn. But he is stubborn because he is a staunch defender of his police department and wants the absolute best for the residents of the town of Warwick. Chief Rader is a tireless worker, and he and I are often surprised to see each other at Town Hall at all hours of the night and countless times over the weekends. Chief Rader is extremely dedicated to his job and shows up day in and day out with a positive attitude and a steady approach to leadership. Just more than 1 month ago, the town of Warwick experienced one of the most dangerous natural disasters in recorded history, with a wildfire of more than 5,000 acres in Sterling Forest State Park. This fire encroached directly into the backyards of nearly 100 homes. This 2-week ordeal required intense collaboration among countless agencies across the state, county, and towns of New York and New Jersey. This wildfire, for local leaders, was a true test of effective operations management. Having key people in place was not only a blessing, it was a requirement for achieving the outcome we had during and after this wildfire. For me and for our town, we had Chief Rader. Knowing how Chief Rader operates in his daily routine, it would be hard for him to surpass my expectations. I hold him in the highest regard because I know what he is capable of. Chief Rader used his background as a past EMT, ambulance corps president, firefighter, fire chief, and decades as a police officer to lead law enforcement and public safety efforts in the most professional and organized way possible. Under the most chaotic of circumstances, Chief Rader remained in control at all times and used every bit of his leadership qualities and experience to ensure the full and unwavering safety of the public, his officers, as well as the hundreds of firefighters during this horrific natural disaster, I would not have wanted anyone else by my side. Now, over the past couple weeks, I've presented certificates of appreciation and plaques to the Greenwood Lake Fire Chief, the fire department, as well as the Greenwood Lake School Superintendent. But I saved the best for last. The way it goes, once you make it to the top, you're generally not recognized for outstanding leadership because it's expected of you. And you set the bar very high, Chief. But I'm here to say, Chief Rader goes above and beyond the call of duty every day he shows up to work. And I can confidently say you went above and beyond the call of duty during the wildfire operation. Chief Rader and I might not always see eye to eye on every issue, but at the end of the day, I know how lucky we are to have him as our town's police chief. His dedication, experience, leadership, and love for this department and love for this town are second to none. And therefore, on behalf of the town board and the town of Warwick, I present to you, Chief Rader, this Excellence in Leadership Award, recognizing your contributions during the 2024 Jennings Creek wildfire. It's not all, though. So another thing, getting a plaque is one thing, but again, and I mean it, when you're at the top, you really don't get recognized, you don't get the pins, you don't get the medals. But I would also like to present the chief with this citation bar, which is a meritorious award for excellent police work, along with a number 5 pin. This represents the number of commendations earned by Chief Rader. You are instructed to wear this proudly on your uniform as an example of your leadership and as an illustration of our appreciation for your hard work and dedication. I was going to have Tracy pin this on you, but I think from what I'm told that would be really difficult to do, so I would like to ask Tracy and your family to come up here and we'll take some pictures. So one more time for Chief Rader. All right, let's get a photo. I want the family up here. And we're not done. He doesn't realize, but he still has to give his report before everybody leaves. He's never going to trust me again. All right, so he's going to be dismissed eventually, but I am going to give him an opportunity to make some remarks. But before I do that, I want to introduce Mayor Tom Howley, who might have some things to say for the chief as well. You guys can sit down. Yeah, go ahead, sit down. Yeah, right here.
Before I start, everyone in the room has to promise me not to tell Adam Iron the good words I'm going to bestow on the guy, okay? He might get jealous. But anyway, all kidding aside, I don't have anything for you tonight. I did speak earlier. Our village board meeting is next Wednesday, the 18th. I've invited John to come to be recognized by the village board that evening, so I'm not going to give you a little thing now. But I've been the mayor only for about 6-7 months now, and fortunately or unfortunately, we've had 2 major incidences. This fire obviously was the cream of the crop. But going before that, we had that microburst, tornado, whatever you want to call it. There were 2 things in common. The town supervisor was away for both of them. He did come back very fast on this one. The other one, he was a little bit too far gone. But the good part was that we were in good hands with Chief John Rader there. And all kidding aside, conveying with Jesse, that was handled relatively well, and this was also handled relatively well. Unfortunately, we did lose one life early in it, but after that, it went as well as we could expect it, with a blip or two. In conjunction with Chief Adam Iron from Greenwood Lake, it was always great waking up and seeing John first thing in the morning, along with your command staff and all your rest of the guys. I spoke to them personally, and they all know how I feel about them. It was a great collaborative effort. Greenwood Lake, we need each other. We truly do. When we say Greenwood Lake, it's a little village, but we know how big it is. All of us in the room know the boundaries of the town of Warwick and the boundaries of the village. When you have two main things like that, it's way above our pay grade, and we need every person on the planet. And John spearheaded it. He has great communications with county agencies, and his expertise just shone right through the roof, and I can't thank you enough. And I'll see you next week. I appreciate everything you've done, and I know it's really comforting to know that you guys are only a phone call away. And I mean that. I know in a minute we can get all the help we need, and that means a lot to me, being over there. So appreciate everything. Thank you very much.
You don't have to give a report, but if you want to say something, you say.
Present arms. Order arms.
Skip your report and just make some comments. Thank your guys and your team over there.
That was actually in my report tonight, so, I am absolutely blown away by what just occurred here. Mr. Supervisor, I know you'll never tell me how you pulled this off, but my hat's off to you for really not only surprising me, but the recognition and the words. To know that working under you since January, and for you to say the things you said and know that we work every day the way we do. I'd like to think the reason we don't see eye to eye is because you're taller. Otherwise, I'd feel like eventually we do agree. And your passion for the town in the first 11 months of your term now has shown that, we're gonna have a really good ride together, because I think we share the same thoughts, we share the same goals and expectations. It's hard to accept an award knowing the work that went into this fire, into this event by our department. In the report that I was gonna give, I was recognizing the fact that during this 2-week period, we had to assign extra officers and extra dispatchers specifically to sections in Greenwood Lake to protect them, to effect detours that involve 2 states, to protect the hundreds of firefighters that showed up there every single day, 24 hours a day, to put this fire out. I truly marvel at what the fire departments did in 2 weeks to put out 5,000 acres of woods on fire. But I'm so proud of our department, because we concentrated on one area, but we still protected the 105 square miles that exist in Warwick. During that 2-week period, we answered almost 700 calls outside of the fire. That included 3 major car accidents and unfortunately 1 fatality in that as well. And we pulled off the Veterans Day Parade. And that was done by the people you see out there, the people, the boots on the ground. Those officers assigned to the fire were extras, meaning they worked the midnight shift and then stayed on and did 8 hours at a traffic post or at the command post. Or they worked the day shift and stayed on for the extra, or they came in for the day and then worked the overnight. There was never a blip in service to the town, and it's because of them. I am nothing without this department, and with the dedication, the professionalism, and just the overall morale of the department that I never had to think twice during the entire time of, were we going to be able to help this town when they needed us? We were there every time, and it's because of them. The leadership that's under me, my lieutenants, the sergeants, the detectives, it was never a question. If I needed something, one of them was always right there at my side, or on the phone, or sending text messages. It really, it was a lot to digest when this was over, of what this department did. And I want the board to know just what the men and women of this department do every day for this town. And they do it with mostly very little thanks. So having this opportunity tonight to address the board and address the department is priceless. I appreciate you pulling this off, because I didn't know how I was going to get them all in a room just to say thank you. Thank you for the dedication. And then when I look and see my family, and friends who were there like every day, calling to make sure I was still sane, or that ended a long time ago, but they checked on me. And, right now I'm seeing everybody in my life that means everything to me in this room. So before I get any more choked up, I want to say thank you to the board, thank you to my family, and thank you to every member of our department. I couldn't be prouder of you, and I couldn't be prouder to be your leader. Thank you.
Chief, at this time, unless anyone else wants to make any remarks, I know we have Superintendent Sarah Haddon here. If she would like to say anything, you're welcome to. You're welcome not, whatever you want. Okay. You are dismissed early. I think that there might be some drinks at Halligan's or somewhere in your future, so. Yeah, there you go. I want to thank the department, not only for coming tonight, but of course all of your hard work. The chief meant what he said. He's only so much without his department, and we're very proud of you guys for not only the work that you did in Greenwood Lake that day, but the work that you did covering the 105 square miles of the town of Warwick under those incredible circumstances that we saw. So I thank you guys very much, and thank you for helping me pull off this little surprise here. It's obvious it worked, so good job. Thank you guys. All right. Nicely done. We can reconvene. I do want to welcome Mayor Tom Howley. He obviously came for the remarks. I appreciate you coming. So our visiting elected officials, Mayor Tom Howley. We can go right into reports of boards and department heads. Obviously, the police chief gave his report. Ben Astorino, Commissioner of DPW.
Good evening, everyone. We did have a couple of storms this past time. We had our first snow of the season on.
Yeah, you're good.
It's on.
Yes.
You
Because
can't
it's
hear
6
me.
feet away from you.
There's never been a time she couldn't hear me. So that's a long ride tomorrow. So we did have we did have a storm on November 22nd, and then again on the 5th, took care of those. We cleaned out some catch basins on Old Dutch Hollow Road. We did some leaf pickup on Kane Road and Iron Mountain Road in the drainage swales. We did finish paving all our roads, Arbor Court and the 2 roads in the Moore subdivision, Drumlin Farm and Vintners Way. Tree work, we had a storm, the one storm in November. There was quite a few trees down during that snowstorm. There was a heavy snow, so we cleaned up all the tree debris from that. We are cutting brush now, Cascade Lake Road and Black Rock Road. Vehicle maintenance, all our trucks are up and running. Emergency repairs, as always, are on them. Anthony's out putting signs up as needed. Potholes, all the asphalt plants are closed now. We are using cold mix. We did haul material back to the Greenwood Lake facility. We hauled some sand, salt mix, and straight salt. And we are working on the Transformation Trail. We just started down there clearing the rest of it. That's going to be quite a project. There's a lot of debris in there, so we are spending some time in these months doing that. Any questions?
Any questions for the commissioner? No, great, thank you, Ben, appreciate it. Safe travels to you and your family as you make your way to South Carolina to welcome your new grandchild. Congratulations to you.
Very excited for that.
All right, Water Sewer Commissioner, Deputy Commissioner, Matt McPherson.
Good evening. Try not to speak so fast this time for you.
Yeah.
Just a monthly update and overview of the water and sewer operations. The department has completed all scheduled preventative maintenance tasks for the water and sewer systems. All of our sampling and testing is being completed on schedule with regulatory agencies. Daily site checks of our treatment facilities are being performed 7 days a week. All of our monthly reporting for all facilities is being completed and submitted on time. Just to update for the new Pine Island well, our engineers have submitted a response letter to the health department's comments on the project. They have also sent the health department an updated engineer's report this past Tuesday, the 10th. We are now waiting to hear back from the health department for their final approval of connecting the new well to the water district. Warwick Heights Water Plant has, excuse me, Warwick Heights Water Plant has a new roof put on by the DPW. It's also getting some much needed electrical upgrades. This will not interrupt electrical service, but will hopefully prevent any service interruptions in the future. Price Chopper Water, we are installing protective fences around our 2 wells as per the request of the health department. And for the wastewater side, our main facility has been running okay. We are continuing to experience some trouble, but we have been able to keep everything up and running for the past month without too much trouble. We continue to work with the DEC and our engineer toward the long-term goal of upgrading our facility. And that concludes my report. Sorry.
No problem. I also updated the board on our recent letter from the Department of Health on Union Corners Park.
Okay, I was just talking to Ben about that, actually.
Yeah, it's so, we just got the letter yesterday,
Yeah.
so it's very new, but challenging situation. Any questions for Matt? Thank you, Matt, appreciate it. Recreation Director, Sam Walter.
Thank you, Supervisor. So I put together a list of highlights at Mountain Lake Park for the year. I tried to do it like the 12 days of Christmas or countdown to Christmas, but we had way more numbers than that. But here it goes. We helped out one family this year at the town park, Mountain Lake Park, providing temporary housing for them. And it was much needed after that microburst storm that hit Greenwood Lake, and also probably needed during the Jennings Creek fire as well. We also had one amazing dog named Maddie that helped out at the park to really eliminate a lot of the geese that were causing a lot of issues on the grass. So those are my top number ones. We had 3 Eagle Scout projects done at the park. One was the fire pit circle, the Gaga pit, and the trailside benches. And that report on the trailside benches will happen probably in January, I think. We had 5 Boy Scout campouts sponsored by the town at the park. All were a lot of fun. We had 11 beautiful weddings at the park. We had 19 lifeguards that kept us safe, and we had 20 firefighters from Montana that stayed at the park during the fire as well. We had 22 community events. That included the Warwick Food Truck Festival, the Fuller Moon Arts Festival, the Hudson Highlands Nature and Wildlife Day, and a lot more. We had 58 events at the park that supported community organizations like the police department, the fire department, the Warwick Valley Rotary, the Lions, the Warwick Valley Central School District, Sustainable Warwick, the Warwick Valley Gardeners, and more. We had 71 more private parties for residents at the lodge, so a lot of birthday parties. We had 75 children participate in town swim lessons. We had 86 people sign up for their fishing and boating access passes. We had averaged 90 swimmers at the pool each day during the summer. We have 116 children that use the park regularly as their either preschool or after-school club. We had 205 senior passes for the pool this summer. We had 526 people who actually stayed overnight at the park during the season, not all at once. We had 1,116 hours of cooking in the kitchen, and I'm approximating our volunteer hours because I didn't get all of Sustainable Warwick's in, but about 1,350 volunteer hours at the park. And lastly, we have many, many thousands of thank yous to give out to the residents, the volunteers, the staff, the service organizations, the police department, the fire department, the DPW, the town board, the supervisor, and all the people that help make the park really special and unique. That's it for my report.
Thanks, Sam. Any questions for Samantha?
No.
Thank you so much for everything you do. All that stuff you announced
Yes.
wouldn't be possible without you. All the hard work you're putting into it really is appreciated. Great job, Sam. All right, we'll go right into town board councilman reports, beginning with Councilman D'Angelo.
Okay, good evening. For the Warwick Valley Humane Society, the holidays are a hectic time each year to adopt a new pet, especially for the pet. Therefore, the Warwick Valley Humane Society is suggesting getting your applications in now, and they will hold your new furry family member until after the holiday so you can bring him or her home in peace. They have 15 dogs available for adoption, plus 24 kittens, and over 70 adult cats, 3 rabbits, and a guinea pig, all for adoption. Adoption applications are available at wvhumane.org, or please call the shelter at 845-986-2473 for more information. They have an incredible Christmas wish list here. It includes paper towels, bleach, Simple Green Cleaner, Dawn dish detergent, laundry detergent, 13-gallon garbage bags, large dog biscuits, Natural Balance or Merrick canned dog food, Pate canned cat food, Hill Science Diet, dry dog, and cat food. And they wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. For the Town of Warwick Friendly Visitor Program, for the month of November, the number of neighbors that were helped were 22. The number of volunteers helping those neighbors was 20. For an incredible number of services provided was 206 for the month of November. Now, if you have some time and can donate your time, for perhaps giving somebody a ride for shopping or a medical appointment or something like that, you can call 845-986-1124, extension 400, and leave a message. And they really need people to help them, so they need volunteers. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Councilman. Councilman Cole, your report, please.
Thank you. And just to start with, regarding the fire, it was great to have a facility like we had at Mountain Lake Park to accommodate the out-of-town firefighters. You don't know when you acquire something what uses you're going to get out of it, and it was great that we had a place for them to stay. Also, I have in my report, including the post reports for the town of Warwick. The total number of calls for the Greenwood Lake area was 137. The entirety of the town, post number 2, was 579. The Pine Island area had 209 police calls in total. Village of Warwick had 488. Village of Greenwood Lake had 52, and the Village of Florida had 33, making a total of 1,498 calls for this month, for the month of November. Not this month. That's my report.
Great, thank you, Councilman. Councilman Mattingly, your report, please.
Thank you, Supervisor. Good evening. The Village of Warwick horse and carriage rides continue in the Village of Warwick. Riders may access the horse and carriage on Railroad Green on Railroad Avenue weekends from noon to 2 p.m. and enjoy a ride through the Village of Warwick on Main Street, South Street, and returning to Railroad Avenue. The Warwick Valley Chamber of Commerce has a number of events. I'll list a couple of them. Tuxedo Park School's Holiday Boutique is Saturday, December 14th, 2024 on Mountain Farm Road in Tuxedo Park, featuring an array of pop-up shops from local makers and more. Winslow Therapeutic Center will hold a grounding meditation and tea presented by Fio Powers on Saturday, December 31st from 10:30 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. Register at winslow.org/wellness. Visit warwickcc.org for a list of the many other member events that will be held during the month of December. The Greenwood Lake Chamber does not have any events on the calendar, but visit gwlnychamber.com/events for information related to community and member events this month. The Village of Florida Chamber Chrome Salon, located at 42 Main Street, Suite 2 in Florida, is holding a Toys for Tots drive for this Saturday. Donate new, unopened toys, no wrapping paper, please. For the Marine Toys for Tots Foundation, which redistributes the toys to less fortunate children in Orange, Rockland, Sullivan, Ulster, and Dutchess counties. Visit florida.nychamber.com/events for a full list of community and member events during the month of December. And finally, the Pine Island Chamber of Commerce will hold a holiday mixer at the Pine Island Tap House on Monday, December 16th at 6 p.m. And also visit pineisland.com/events for a full list of their community and member events. Thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Schuback, your report, please. Nothing to report this time. Okay, Attorney Buckheit. Turn your microphone on, please.
As you're used to hearing me say, my report is largely confidential. However, I'm prepared to answer any questions.
Any questions for the attorney? Everyone has been provided the attorney's report prior to this meeting. There are no questions from the board? Thank you, Attorney Buckheit. Town Clerk Astorino.
Okay, the fees collected for November 2024 were $63,840.75, and the fees paid out were $7,458.98. We had a bid proposal for a refurbished commercial kitchen mixer. The first proposal was from Straub Food Equipment Company for $1,950. The second was Discount Bakery Equipment for $2,200, and the third was City Food Equipment for $2,695. The next bid proposal was for supply and installation of sand filters at the Price Chopper Sewer. The first is from TAM. The proposal is $15,389. We did reach out to Coppola Septic, but they did not get back with any submittal. Could be the holidays or something. Another bid proposal for water protection upgrading fencing at the Price Chopper. The first is from Builtwell Fence Company, Inc. for $7,040. The second is Ketchum Fencing, Inc. for $7,995. The last bid proposal is to remove and replace electric wiring at Uric Height Pump Station. The first is from CJD Electric for $6,500. The next is Norman Odell Electrical Services for $6,755. And the last is JM Electric and Son, Inc. for $6,275.55. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. All right, my report is essentially a summary of what we discussed at the workshop, which is open to the public, and we have it right before this town board meeting. We'll go right into it. Now, we did have, oddly enough, 2 town board meetings pretty much in the middle of the wildfire. One of them was to pass our budget, and the next meeting happened shortly thereafter. So I was updating details of the fire, and if you've been following the Town of Warwick's Facebook page, we gave you basically play-by-play description and details on everything that was going on with the fire. But Not to belabor the thank yous, they're certainly deserving, but I just want to point out some interesting statistics from the fire that happened in the Greenwood Lake area of the town of Warwick. We had over 300 agencies that supported this effort across fire departments, police departments, and EMS agencies. That included over 1,000 volunteers, not only within these fire departments, police departments, and EMS agencies, but that includes restaurant staff and other community members that joined the forces to volunteer and support our efforts in Greenwood Lake. And I will commend Mayor Tom Howley, who was here as well. He was by my side the entire time, and it didn't matter if it was in the town section of that area. Tom was just as concerned as if it were in the backyard of the village of Greenwood Lake, because it really was. And I want to thank you, Tom, on behalf of the town board for your partnership in that, your support, your leadership and dedication. It was great, and it was always great working with you. And it meant a lot to see how concerned you were, and we all knew where that fire was going, and it was going right from New Jersey to the town of Warwick, right into the village of Greenwood Lake, and sure enough, that's where it went. But everybody did great. It was an incredible effort, and unfortunately, we did have one loss of life from the Park Service, but the hard work of our local volunteers and the departments that came together, there were no structures impacted by the fire, and that was a true miracle. And I certainly hope that never happens again, but I feel we learned a lot, and we're just incredibly proud of our community and of our town to see how everybody comes together to support one another during a time of need. It was very inspiring and great to see. All right, moving on into some reports of my details. The town of Warwick entered into an informal agreement with the village of Greenwood Lake to share part-time police officers. Essentially the term double tinning, which is a phrase that means working across multiple police departments, was never used in the town of Warwick until this year. We feel that overtime costs and essentially the cost of government operations is increasing so much so that a great tool that we could have in sharing with our partners over the mountain is sharing part-time police officers that do not require health insurance, retirement contributions, and are typically available to offset the cost of overtime rather than having your full-time police officers work. So we are working with the village of Greenwood Lake. In addition, we are sending more members to become police officers. We're sending them to the police academy. Tonight we're appointing 2 police officers, Ava Smith and Ryan Worden, as town of Warwick part-time police officers. So that's going to help us as we continue to keep this police department as affordable and effective as possible. We are passing resolutions tonight on lieutenants' contracts. I also reported with the town board, as anybody who's been following along for the past year, a main priority of ours is to address and tackle the Wickham Sewer District through the sourcing of grant funding. We applied to multiple grant options. One of them was a WIA grant, and we had a feeling we might get rejected for this grant because of the median household income across the entire town of Warwick, which is significantly higher than most other communities in the region. Even though the Wickham Sewer District does not serve the entire town of Warwick, it serves a smaller community. And we were not approved for that particular grant. Working with the Water and Sewer Department, Matt McPherson, as well as our engineers, we're taking proactive measures, which we started to do, even knowing that we didn't have the results yet of the grant, including income surveys, working with the DEC on an order on consent, and we will continue to reapply and await for other grant announcements. Matt reported on the Pine Island well, and I did mention to the board that not only are we working on getting that new well online in Pine Island, but a long-term solution for the water treatment plant and the storage facility for Pine Island, which will be 2025's project, right? Union Corners mentioned that the Department of Health sent the town of Warwick a notice that they are essentially requiring us to turn the drinking water at our park into a water treatment facility. Another unfunded mandate that's been working perfectly fine for this long, but the government feels that we can't take care of our own parks and our public, so they're going to force us to do this. So that's very unfortunate. Some projects, I'm torn in announcing this right now with the press, public, because what I've said all along is that the Jane Street Bridge, we knew we got grant funding for it. We applied for multiple grant sources, and we got about 80% covered, and I didn't want to fully announce everything until we got the final grant, which I just got last week. So a $4 million bridge project will be funded with the exception of $24,000. That'll be the town's share. I am going to issue a formal press release in partnership with the Village of Florida next week, so if you can hold off on that part, that would be great. I'll let you break the story. But I am happy to announce that a $4 million bridge will be replaced, almost entirely funded by 3 variations of grants. So it's a great win for all of us, because unfortunately this bridge would have had to be replaced no matter what. If we didn't get a grant, we would have had to borrow the $4 million, and it would have put the town in a really difficult position. So very happy to announce that this is 99.5% grant funded for that replacement. Another grant-funded project, the Bike Hike Trail, is underway. We broke ground on this about a week and a half ago, and we had a status update meeting this morning, and we're going to continue working through the winter on the Bike Hike project. That's going to connect Cascade Road and Cascade Lake Park with the Orange County Park at Hickory Hills. FEMA culverts are going to take place in the spring. We're going to be replacing about 5 to 6 culverts town-wide that were impacted by Hurricane Ida. Yes, that's right. The Hurricane Ida, it was years ago. We're finally going to start breaking ground on those projects in the spring, and working with the DPW commissioner as well as our engineers, we'll get the schedule, which, because there will be traffic delays, there will be detours, and working with the police department, we'll make plenty of notice and announcements on what roads will be closed and when and for how long. Mountain Lake Park pool design, we got the grant for a new installation of a new pool at Mountain Lake Park. We are going through the process and every bit that we can to try to get that done for Memorial Day. And as I instructed to the board, if we can't get it done entirely by Memorial Day, we will postpone the entire project until the fall. The last thing we want is for Mountain Lake Park to be under construction during the busy season. Airport Park Playground. Another grant-funded playground. We're going to be purchasing $350,000 worth of playground equipment and handicap-accessible matting, so that this park will be fully accessible to anyone who needs it. And that project will, we're placing the order after tonight's resolution, and then we hope to make the actual installation in the spring once we get a good weather window so that we can actually pour the rubber matting. The town board budgeted for a grant firm, Millennium Strategies. That's going to start January 1st. So, I mean, you guys have seen grants are a top priority of mine, top priority of this town board. They're the only way that you can continue with the infrastructure needs of a town like this while not putting the burden on the taxpayers. So we are prioritizing grants in every way possible. That grant firm will start January 1st, and we're going to take a very aggressive approach in making that work for everybody. And partnering with the villages within the town, shared services model of really everybody in it together. We worked out an agreement to work with all of our villages so that we can share this service and make it benefit the entire town, every taxpayer within the town of Warwick. So Village of Warwick, Village of Florida, and the Village of Greenwood Lake will be joining with the town of Warwick for this firm Millennium starting January 1st. We had our MS4 audit on November 21st, and it was not as painful as I thought it would be. This is with the DEC. Anytime the DEC comes in and says they want to audit you, it's usually a really, really bad day. This wasn't that bad. Obviously, we identified some weaknesses, but overall the town is in pretty good shape with complying with all of our MS4 requirements. And thankfully, Tom, they're not coming to you next. So you're good. You dodged the bullet on that one. I don't know how they came here, but they did. But everything went okay. We made it through. We have some things that we have to tighten up, but overall everything's okay. Tonight the town board will be adopting a resolution to extend the moratorium on the battery storage facilities. We continue to feel that it is not in our best interests right now for the town of Warwick to have battery storage facilities or development of battery storage siting within the town. We're going to push this down another 6 months while we continue to evaluate it. One of the main reasons for that is in Putnam County, there is a major development of a large-scale battery storage facility, and we're monitoring that and watching how that progresses through, seeing what kind of plans are coming forward with that, and really just trying to learn the lessons of the past and learn the lessons of other municipalities, because these facilities are so new. We saw the consequences of new development, the 2 fires that happened in the village of Warwick with the battery storage facilities, and it really is a frightening thing to see. So we're going to make sure we take our time, do as much due diligence as we possibly can to do this as best as possible. The attorney briefed the town board on a subdivision acquisition, Moore subdivision, which has been in the works since 2006. We are finally progressing and moving that forward to take over that subdivision and ensure that we can properly plow and maintain that, and the residents of that neighborhood will receive the same benefit as every other town taxpayer, as the original intention and design from the planning board was meant to be for that. So we have a resolution tonight to continue bringing that forward. And then on a final note, I just received an announcement a little while ago that I was reappointed as a representative on the Orange County Transportation Council, representing the southern region of Orange County. And you all might recall that the town of Warwick got about a little over $1.5 million from the Orange County Transportation Council to support our Jane Street Bridge. So a very valuable position for the town, and I'm honored to take that reappointment onto that board. At this time, that concludes my report. One more thing on here, you'll hear a resolution later this evening about the use of town vehicles. While going through the lieutenant's contracts, it was obvious that not every employee had a formal adoption of a policy on whether or not who could use a town car, when they can use a town car, where they can use a town car. And we identified the town of Warwick has about 10 employees, including myself, that utilizes a town vehicle for town-related businesses. And we just want to memorialize that as a town board, as it is a great thing to do. Makes a lot of sense, and we appreciate recommendations to do things like that. So the town board will be taking action on that this evening. At this time, we'll open it up to privilege of the floor on any agenda item. There's a lot of agenda items. Those are resolutions. Any resolutions? Again, there will be another opportunity for the public to speak on any general topic, but that'll be after the resolutions. So now's your opportunity to speak on a resolution. Okay. All right, we'll go right into addendum number 3, which are the resolutions for the evening.
Motion to schedule a public hearing to consider introductory local law number 10 of 2024 to amend local law number 1 of 2024, a local law which extended for a further 12 months local law number 4 of 2023, a 6-month moratorium prohibiting the review and approval of clean renewable energy technology businesses devoted to research, education, distribution, or application of technological innovation in alternative energy uses in the town of Warwick for an additional 6 months to expire on June 30th, 2025. Said hearing to be held on Thursday, December 26th, 2024 at 1 p.m. or soon thereafter, as thereafter may the matter be heard at Town Hall, 132 Kings Highway, Town of Warwick.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to reappoint Vicky Garby as alternate member of the planning board for a 1-year term to expire December 31st, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. I make a motion to adopt a resolution reappointing Ben Astorino as a member of the planning board for a term of 5 years to expire December 31st, 2029.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to appoint Robert Sherman as a full-time Department of Public Works laborer, grade 4, step 1, at a pay rate of $23.84, as per the CEA contract effective January 1st, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to accept proposal from Nebraska Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, in an amount not to exceed $7,980 to run 70 feet of 1 1/4 copper for supply and run 70 feet for return, and all necessary fittings and connections to the unit heater in number 1 garage, including covering installation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt the following resolution, whereas a project for the Jane Street Millers Creek Bridge replacement, pin, is that what it says? Pin 8763.56, the project is eligible for funding under the Title 23 U.S. Code as amended that calls for the apportionment of costs such program to be borne at the ratio of 80% federal funds and 20% non-federal funds. And whereas the town of Warwick desires to advance the project by making a commitment of 100% of the non-federal share of the preliminary engineering and row incidental work, now therefore the Warwick Town Board, duly convened, does hereby resolve that the Warwick Town Board hereby approves the above subject project, and it is hereby further resolved that the Warwick Town Board hereby authorizes the town of Warwick to pay the first instance 100% of the federal and non-federal share of the preliminary engineering and row incidental work for the project or portions thereof. And it is further resolved that the sum of $480,000 is hereby appropriated from the H16.5120.400 and made available to cover the cost of participation in the above phase of the project. And it is further resolved that in the event the full federal and non-federal share costs of the project exceeds the amount appropriated above, the Warwick Town Board shall convene as soon as possible to appropriate said excess amount immediately upon the notification by the supervisor thereof. And it is further resolved that the Warwick Town Supervisor be and is hereby authorized to execute all necessary agreements, certifications, or reimbursement requests for federal aid and or applicable Marchicelli aid on behalf of the town of Warwick with the New York State Department of Transportation in connection with the advancement or approval of the project and providing for the administration of the project and the municipality's first instance funding of the project costs and permanent funding of the local share of the federal aid and state aid eligible project costs and all project costs within appropriations therefore that are not so eligible. And it is further resolved that in addition to the supervisor, the following municipal titles: Commissioner of Public Works, Town Engineer, Town Comptroller, Attorney for the town, are also hereby authorized to execute any necessary agreements or certifications on behalf of the municipality sponsor with the New York State Department of Transportation in connection with the advancement or approval of the project identified in the state local agreement. Resolved that the certified copy of this resolution be filed with the New York State Commissioner of Transportation by attaching it to any necessary agreement in connection with the project, and it is further resolved this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Second.
Just a discussion, this is the Marchicelli grant for the remaining balance of the Jane Street Bridge grant, $480,000. Essentially, this resolution is required to submit with it and proves that we have the funds necessary to lay out and then get reimbursed. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt a resolution granting permission for the following applicants to serve alcohol at Town of Warwick Parks rental facilities. All applicants have filed a certificate of liability and liquor liability of insurance in the town clerk's office. The first applicant is the Warwick Police Department. The park or rental facility is Mountain Lake Park. The date is December 15th, 2024. Permit number MLP-111. The second applicant is Linda Carbone, Mountain Lake Park, December 21st, 2025. Permit number MLP-110.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to waive the rental fee for Mountain Lake Park for the Wickham Works organization, Too Good to Toss, a community-wide swap event on January 28th on January 18th and 19th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to amend R 2024-450, accepting bid from Morico's Tree Service for removal of 3 large dead trees at 1 and 2 Olga Way in Greenwood Lake in the amount of $4,000 due to the addition of 2 more dangerous trees need to be removed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. I make a motion to waive the rental fee at the Mountain Lake Park for the Sustainable Warwick Pollinator Pathway Committee to hold a free winter seed sowing workshop January 25th, 2025. There will be no fees to attend this event.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt a resolution accepting the resignation of part-time dispatcher Eric Firestein effective December 1st, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion authorizing the Commissioner of Department of Public Works to execute an undertaking for the benefit of the New York State Department of Transportation to allow the town of Warwick to access and operate within the New York State right-of-way for such purposes as observation, installation, construction, maintenance, and/or operation of facilities and utilities.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that is a typo. That should be right of way.
Right of way.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to waive rental fee at Mountain Lake Park for the Greater Hudson Valley Council Scouting Unit, Scout Pack 121, Den 14 for camping out on December 14th and 15th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to appoint Ryan N. Warden as a part-time police officer at a rate of pay of $27.03 per hour, effective December 14th, 2024, as per the PBA collective bargaining agreement and recommendation letter dated December 3rd, 2024, from the police chief.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to schedule the 2025 reorganization meeting for the town of Warwick on January 2nd, 2025, at 12 p.m., located at 132 Kings Highway, Warwick, New York.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. I make a motion to appoint Ava F. Smith as a part-time police officer at a rate of pay of $27.03 per hour, effective December 14, 2024, as per the PBA collective bargaining agreement and recommendation letter dated December 3rd, 2024, from the police chief.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to accept notice of intent letter from the town of Warwick dial-a-bus driver Peter M. Varutis, dated December 5th, 2024, for the purpose of retirement at least 6 months after notification of intent.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to appoint Kelly Kern as a part-time clerk for the Department of Public Works at a salary of $18 per hour effective January 2nd, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to authorize the supervisor to sign contract with Miracle Recreation Equipment Company for playground equipment for the airport park in the amount not to exceed $350,000. Funds have been allocated from the New York State CREST grant.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to accept a proposal from Straub Food Equipment for a refurbished commercial kitchen mixer at Mountain Lake Park in the amount not to exceed $1,950.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Whereas the vehicles owned by the town of Warwick are to be used to provide services to residents and taxpayers of the town of Warwick, and whereas it is the intent of the town of Warwick that there be a general policy defining the assignment, control, proper use, and maintenance of vehicles that are driven by town officials and employees, and whereas the town board and the town of Warwick determines that it is in the best interest of the town of Warwick to authorize certain designated town officials and employees to make use of vehicles owned by the town of Warwick outside of town hall or regular duty hours, to include driving to and from and the storing of these vehicles at private residences. Now therefore I offer a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the following designated town officials and employees to make use of vehicles owned by the town of Warwick outside of town hall or regular duty hours, to include driving to and from and the storing of these vehicles at private residences. The town supervisor, the town commissioner of the Department of Public Works, town deputy commissioner of the Department of Public Works, the town foreman of the Department of Public Works, the town chief of police, 2 town police lieutenants, 2 town police detectives.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion authorizing the super to sign contract between the town of Warwick, Alphonse Morley for employing Lieutenant Morley as police lieutenant effective April 27th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion authorizing the supervisor to sign contract agreement between the town of Warwick and Keith Selinsky for employing Lieutenant Selinsky as a police lieutenant effective April 27th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to authorize the supervisor to sign an intermunicipal agreement between the town of Warwick and the town of Wallkill for administrative and consulting services for its dial-a-bus program services from January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion authorizing the supervisor to sign an intermunicipal agreement with the town of Wallkill for dial-a-bus dispatching, scheduling, and head bus driver duties from January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to authorize the supervisor to sign a work agreement addendum with Transportation Manager Jennifer Carver and administrative and consulting for the town of Wallkill dial-a-bus system from January 1st, 2025, December 31st, 2025.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt local law number 9 of 2024 to amend the Town of Warwick Town Code, Chapter 33, procurement policy to consider a proposed amendment to the Town of Warwick Code, Chapter 33, procurement policy, Section 33-5, applicability. Subsection B, quotes and RFPs. Subsection 5, granting the town supervisor the authority to approve contracts up to the sum of $5,000.
Second.
Second.
Just a discussion on this. The previous the current code says up to $3,500 for the town supervisor to sign contracts. That was originally put in the town code, I think, in 2000, the early 2000s, and obviously with the price of inflation, you can't get a printer for $3,500. So a slight increase just to make government more efficient, but certainly not less accountable. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Motion authorizing the supervisor to sign an agreement between Jewish Family Services and the town of Warwick for administration of the Friendly Visitor Program for 2025 for $5,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion authorizing the supervisor to sign New York State Swims grant application through Orange County Youth Bureau for 2024 and 2025 years.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Make a motion to accept bid proposal from TAM Enterprises for supply and installation of sand filters and price chopper sewer at a cost not to exceed $15,389.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to accept the bid proposal from Well-Built Fence Company Incorporated for water protection upgrade fencing at Price Chopper in the amount not to exceed $7,040.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to accept a bid proposal from JM Electric and Son Incorporated to remove and replace electrical wiring at Warwick Heights Pump Station in the amount not to exceed $6,275.55.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt the following resolution, whereas J.W. Warwick LLC has not yet to complete the entirety of the work specified on the subdivision plan for the Moore subdivision approved by the Town of Warwick Planning Board on June 8, 2006. And whereas the Town of Warwick remains in receipt of a cash performance bond and the cash landscape bond provided by J.W. Warwick LLC with regard to the Moore subdivision. And whereas the town of Warwick is desirous of accepting the dedication as public roadways of the roads contained within the Moore subdivision, in particular Drumlin Farm Road and Vintners Way. And whereas the town of Warwick cannot accept the dedication as public roadways of the roads contained within the Moore subdivision, in particular Drumlin Farm Road and Vintners Way, until the completion of the entirety of the work specified on the subdivision plan for the Moore subdivision approved by the town of Warwick Planning Board on June 8th, 2006. And whereas the town of Warwick has made demand upon J.W. Warwick LLC that it complete the entirety of the work specified on the subdivision plan for the Moore subdivision approved by the town of Warwick Planning Board on June 8th, 2006. And whereas the town of Warwick's acceptance of the dedication as public roadways of the roads contained within the Moore subdivision, in particular Drumlin Farm Road and Vintners Way, best serves the interest of the residents of the town of Warwick. And whereas the town of Warwick intends to take all steps necessary to ensure completion of the entirety of the work specified on the subdivision plan for the Moore subdivision approved by the town of Warwick Planning Board on June 8th, 2006. And whereas the town of Warwick, by correspondence dated October 30th, 2024, advised J.W. Warwick LLC that by November 13th, 2024, it must complete the remaining outstanding work as more clearly specified on the subdivision plan for the Moore subdivision, approved by the town of Warwick Planning Board on June 8th, 2006, and in the event of its failure to do so, the town of Warwick will have the necessary outstanding work completed, and the town of Warwick will charge the costs of the same against its performance bond and landscape bond. And whereas the town of Warwick has taken steps necessary to complete the remaining outstanding work as more clearly specified on the subdivision plan for the Moore subdivision approved by the town of Warwick Planning Board on June 8th, 2006, and the town of Warwick will charge the cost of the same against its performance bond and landscape bond. And whereas the town of Warwick, by correspondence dated November 22nd, 2024, advised J.W. Warwick LLC that, in anticipation of the dedication of the Moore subdivision roads to the town of Warwick, the town Department of Public Works has begun to plow, snow, and salt these roads, in particular Drumlin Farm Road and Vintners Way, and the town of Warwick will charge the cost of reimbursement for such services against its performance bond. And whereas the town of Warwick has received no response from J.W. Warwick LLC, now therefore I offer a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the town supervisor, upon receipt of the recommendation from the Commissioner of the Department of Public Works, that all necessary work be completed and the subject roads are ready for dedication, to accept the dedication as public roadways of the roads of the Moore subdivision and specified on the subdivision plan for the Moore subdivision approved by the town of Warwick Planning Board on June 8th, 2006, in particular Drumlin Farm Road and Vintners Way.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. We're almost there.
Motion to authorize supervisor to sign agreement with Avon Enterprise Incorporated for a 5-year lease of 10 TASER units at a total cost not to exceed $15,520.56 per year.
Second.
And just a discussion, as the chief pointed out during our workshop, this is actually a savings of what we're currently paying for tasers. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to authorize the police chief to utilize funds from the DCJS grant to purchase 15 Sierra XR65G modems for patrol units at a cost not to exceed $28,485.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. At this time, I make a motion, let's see. Yeah, I make a motion that we pay all audited bills.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. At this time, we'll open it up to privilege of the floor on any general topic. Sir?
One of my questions tonight kind of got nipped in the bud, but
Just state your name for the record,
my
please.
name's Rich Murdy. The last meeting I attended, you had talked about bringing on board either an individual or a firm about doing your grants, state and federal grants. How much was that for?
$47,000.
That's just an individual writing those, or a group?
Oh, it's a firm. It's a
Firm?
firm that will write unlimited amounts of
Okay.
grants, and also, we're cost sharing at $5,000 apiece from each of the villages. So our cost is $32,000.
Well, you probably don't remember, you weren't even born then, but Vince Brown came on board at the time as town supervisor, and his salary was $13,500. And then when he took office, he put on a different hat to become the town fiscal officer, which was / supervisor fiscal officer.
Right.
And that's what the job description entailed, was, doing all of those grants. But I guess somehow that got changed. Also, nipped it in the bud, I had a FOIL request. I wanted to know why the town supervisor was driving the town vehicle since you come on board.
That's not accurate.
Well, I understand it is from town employees. so-
September.
Well, anyway, the town supervisor position was always a part-time position and never warranted a vehicle to drive. And now I see you guys pass it tonight, so I kind of put a rest to that. So that being said, thank you.
Was it I mean, that's all fair questions. Was it a part-time job when your mother was doing it? Because
Yeah.
I can't,
Yeah,
I'm here, I would say minimum 60 hours a week.
well, I understand that,
And
but
I don't know how it turned into that. I don't know where.
Yeah. And Mike-
not that I'm supportive of it, this government has grown tremendously.
I get it. I
don't know,
get it.
I
Mike-
think all the regulations and everything.
Mike Sweeten did it all. He did all the grant writing. He never had a car, but, like I said, people have told me that you've been driving a car since you come on board.
So the only difference is that you could charge mileage, which previous supervisors have done. The math that I did was that it would be cheaper for the town for me to use a 2013 Ford Taurus, which is a salvage with over 100,000 miles on it, and put fuel from the pumps over here at $2.50 a gallon, instead of me charging mileage at the IRS rates to use my truck to drive around the biggest town in Orange County. So from a fiscal standpoint, it made more sense for me to use a town car to provide town business, to drive all over every corner of this town. Whether previous supervisors needed it or not, maybe I have a different style than them. Maybe I have a more hands-on approach of going around the town, going to our different departments or different parks, meeting with constituents every single day. It's a fair question because you're absolutely right. If previous supervisors didn't do it, but I don't think I'm like every previous supervisor.
That's irrelevant, because if you were driving from home to here and then got in a town vehicle, you were acting in official capacity.
Countless meetings and instances
I
of
get
me.
it. The department heads do the same thing.
Right, but I'll explain to you. Countless instances of me driving directly from my home to a location in this town or in Goshen, rather than stopping here and billing the mileage to here. It's much more efficient. It really makes more sense.
Town of Warwick's been incorporated since 1789. No one's ever done it since.
That's not accurate.
It is accurate. They
Okay.
were in official capacity, it was used.
Okay.
But, not to take home back and forth.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate your comments.
Do it anyway.
Any other comments from the public? All right, we'll move on. The next meeting will be December 26th at 1 p.m. There will be a workshop at 12 p.m. noon. Public hearing on local law number 10 of 2024, amend local law number 1 of 2024, local law, which extended for a further 12 months, local law number 4 of 2023, a 6-month moratorium prohibiting the review and approval of clean renewable energy technologies businesses devoted to research, education, distribution, or application of technological innovation in alternative energy uses in the town of Warwick for an additional 6 months to expire June 30th, 2025. Before we adjourn, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. We won't be seeing you until the 26th. I appreciate everybody coming tonight, and certainly with your comments and feedback are always welcome. I make a motion that we adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.